Market of the Moment. I'm Sharon Terhune, the Vice President and Sales Manager for Fidelity National Title, and I am joined here, as always, with
Don Chakowski, Director of Channel Sales at Fidelity National Title.
Awesome. Well, guys, we have been introducing books to you for the last several weeks, and so many great book recommendations.
Absolutely.
Like, so much fun. If you haven't joined us, what we're doing is we are talking about great summer books for you to read. Maybe you're on an airplane, traveling an hour or 14 hours somewhere on vacation. And what better time to work on yourself, right? You got time, downtime, great reads that you can come back to your business when you get back from vacation and kill it. Yeah. Right, and that's what we're talking about. 14
hours, and it's like, I've got this European trip coming up.
14 hours. I'm telling you straight up. I've been to Italy. It was like 14 hours. I don't know.
A lot of airplane time.
A lot of airplane time. So.
Well, my book this week is a Las Vegas flight.
Okay,
it's a short book.
It. That's a Vegas flight. Good. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we don't. This one would not take up a whole 14-hour flight. We're looking at a little flight to Vegas, maybe San Diego.
Love it.
So it's the $6,000 Egg, and it is by Deb and Todd Duncan. Now, this book isn't something that I don't think you find this one in bookstores anywhere, and it's not on Amazon either. You have to actually go to their website in order to order the book. Okay. And but it was recommended to me by a client probably, 6 years ago maybe, and we were in this group, and he was telling me about the book, and they actually got me a copy of it.
Awesome.
And so since then I've gone and ordered the book myself for people, and it's just such a great book. And so really what this talks about, and the story behind this book is the $6,000 Egg is symbolic of empowering employees to make decisions that are right for business. And so when we look at the different decisions that people have the ability to make, whether it's in a retail location or whether it's something we're doing in our business, making, instead of like digging in and fighting over the small things, in this case, it was an egg in a restaurant, and the restaurant was, not willing to provide an egg on a hamburger because the eggs had some other commitment, that the people stopped going to the restaurant. And they were spending over a year, they were spending $6,000 in that restaurant by their weekly visit there for brunch and all that. So
that's a big loss.
Yeah,
right?
and so when we look at this story, it really is symbolic of empowering people around you and empowering yourself to make decisions and not to dig in on the small things, right? To make the decisions that are going to have a bigger impact. We talked last week about the power of moments. Same thing here, right? But this is the negative side of it all, right? If you dig in on something small, then you can really give somebody a very bad remembrance of something and a bad flavor in their mouth. And we talked about the psychology behind all of that, and so then that's the feeling that they have. And in this case, they didn't want to go to the restaurant anymore because the way they dug in over something so small.
Absolutely, that's how they handled it.
Right.
And truly, what's interesting is even if something negative happens in your business, how you handle it, and that's customer service, and that's what they're talking about, how you handle it, you can actually gain a client for life, even if they weren't a client to start, in how you handled the situation in a positive way or in a negative way, which is what they're talking about. And this kind of also reminds me a little bit, years ago we had a representation from the Ritz-Carlton come to our team and speak about customer service, and obviously they're at the top of their game of what customer service looks like and what it should be and how they train their people. And if everyone had that same mentality, wow, can you imagine what extraordinary things they could do with their business?
Yeah, and that's really, and that whole Ritz-Carlton experience, that whole those are the kind of things that are important for us if we want to build clients for life. And how many times have we had somebody, perhaps an agent who was on a cross sale, who had something go sideways during that transaction, and have come to us and said, hey, what can, and that's opened the door for us to have great conversations, show them how we fix things, how we take responsibility, and how we build a plan to make sure that those things are less likely to happen again. We can't ever guarantee something's never going to happen again, but less likely to happen again. And and we've clients we've been working with for years and years as a result of one experience that maybe wasn't the greatest, but how you handled it and how you fixed it.
100%. This is a good read, guys. Catch the $6,000 Egg.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dawn, thanks again. I am going to share a book now that I think is really a fun read. Okay. So this one I read halfway to Hawaii. Okay. Yeah. We'll call it that. It was halfway to Hawaii. And this was given to me by a good friend of mine, and she signed it as well and gifted it to me and said, I feel like you're always been part of my tribe, and that means a lot to me because after reading this book, I know what she meant. Yeah. The book is Tribe of Millionaires, and the premise is, what if one choice could change everything? Okay, it's David Osborne and Pat Hibben with Mike McCarthy and Tim Rode. Okay, but easy to find, Tribe of Millionaires. This book reads more like a novel. Okay. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I actually thought it was based on a true story reading it because it feels like it's based on a true story. Unfortunately, it's not. However,
giving away the ending, Sharon.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not ruining the book.
No, it's a great book.
But what this is an amazing story of an individual that took a chance and went and did something that they did not want to do, right? In that journey, they proceeded to meet some extraordinary people that had life lessons for them, and that they can take forward with their personal and business to whole nother levels. And it's such a good story, guys. I highly recommend. It's such an easy read. You're going to want to give it out to people. I've given it out to so many people and signed it myself and just said, I've always considered you part of my tribe. And I do believe in life that we are who we surround ourselves with, right? And I also feel like how successful you are is also who you hang out with. If you want to be successful, hang out with successful people, right? Yeah, and that's where you're going to get.
Well, and we talk about this often. Like, our tribe we're so fortunate to have such a big tribe, right? Within our team, within our organization, within the company, within our client base. Our friends and our partners. That it's so great, and you and I talk about this so much about how we get to learn from all of these amazing, intelligent people, right? We do. And we get to see all these different perspectives. And I think this book is one that really helps to shine the light on that, right? And that there is opportunity in relationships, and and not that all of our relationships need to be like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do for me? But when you're around smart people, you think smart thoughts. Yeah,
absolutely. You do. You think very differently. Yeah. And honestly, if you have children too, this is a great read for your kids as well, because there are such great life lessons in it. And taking somebody that had a perspective on life and who they were and what they came from, and didn't really understand the full circle of what they had at their fingertips. So. This is a great read. Would love for you to grab that book and tell us what you think. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that book. It's a great book. Definitely great. And actually, as you're talking, like, people are like, oh, I should get that for this person.
So it's a great book. Yeah. Christmas presents, birthdays, whatever. I mean, you'll be doing somebody a favor for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. So speaking of doing favors, let's look to Market Master Mindy and see what's going on with the market and check in with her. And we're so happy to have her as part of our tribe as well. Yeah. So Mindy, what is going on out there?
I've talked to so many first-time homebuyers lately who think that there's just no way for them to enter the market any longer. With interest rates several months into being higher than the last few years, but only slightly elevated from our long-term average, it's not really the interest rate that's holding people up any longer, it's the house price. And that's where our deficiency in available inventory is really getting us. While some still think prices are going to start coming down, most people understand that the correction in pricing has actually already occurred, and interest rates are actually probably keeping home prices from going up even faster, which means that when they drop, we'll likely see an escalation in pricing. Supply in the valley sits at just about 50% of normal, and demand is about 80%, a number that will definitely see rise when interest rates fall. So where's the opportunity? Well, more than 40% of our closings have seller concessions, which means that with down payment assistance programs and 100% financing programs, even your VA benefit or USDA purchase, think Coolidge or surpass $1,000, you could feasibly get into a home having saved up very little money as long as you can make the monthly payment. And while the rental supply is growing, prices are not dropping. Our pricing correction ended in December of 2022, and since then, the median sales price has gone up by $25,000, home sales going over asking have increased by 10%, seller concessions have gone down by 9%, and the amount of the concessions per deal has gone down more than $1,000. So the question is, how can you get into homeownership before we see more of the same trends affecting your budget?
Miss Market Master Mindy, thank you for that update. Always such a positive take on what's going on in our market today.
Yeah.
So great job. I'd love to take it over to Amber right now over at Guild Mortgage. Amber Kovarik, let us know what's going on in the mortgage world.
Is a conventional loan always the better option for a client? For a long time, conventional was the go-to loan program, and we only used FHA in the case of someone with really low credit, higher debt to income ratios, and maybe the need for a super low down payment. It really didn't benefit most people. But since the recent changes on conventional loans, coupled with the recent reduction in FHA mortgage insurance, which saves the average buyer in our market about $100 a month off their payment, FHA is back. And as we continue to be challenged by affordability in our market, it's so important that buyers are being shown all of their options. Low down payment conventional, higher down payment conventional, and FHA options to ensure they are getting the best loan strategy for their specific financial goals and situations. We are always here to help your clients get a second opinion to make sure that the largest debt that they will likely ever incur is properly structured. And we can do all of that without a hard pull to their credit. So let us know how we can help. And as always, my team is available for all of your weekend pre-qualification needs. Thanks so much.
Amber, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys, you and Mindy every week taking your time to join us. So thank you so much. Well, that is the wrap for this week's book club. And
I think
thank you.
this is the wrap of our summer book club.
It might be. Well, who knows?
It might be. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What
I
we
mean,
decide when
honestly,
we come back.
if you, we're gonna put this out there.
Yeah.
If you have a good book recommendation,
Yes.
please let us know. And if you would like to film a little clip like you've seen for the last few weeks from some of our partners on a great book and why, 5-10 minutes, let us know. We will keep adding them because I love this. This is like really adding value to my book collection and what I'm reading.
Yeah, and I do have that flight to Europe coming up. So
You're
getting a
gonna
book,
need, like,
yeah. So
another 6 books.
Yeah, getting a couple books knocked out on
flights,
that. Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So okay, well, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week back on Market of the Moment.
Stay cool. Ciao.